Hey everyone, welcome to Founders 365 with me, Steven Haggerty. Today, I'm joined from across the pond with Clement. I said it in the French way. I said it in the
Yeah,
French way.
no
What have
problem,
I
no
done?
problem. As long as you
You know
said
what?
it some way, John
Exactly.
Clement,
I
it worked
thought
out.
about that as well, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's cement with an L, like we just spoke about." And
Yeah,
I still went
no
French.
problem.
Okay, it sounds fancier the French way as well.
It
So
does. It does sound fancy and takes away all the just normalness of me when you say it too fancy.
hey, John, you're fancy, man. You're fancy.
In
You're
ways, in
own
ways,
it.
for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, John, thank you so much for coming on the show. I always love talking to people from the States or from a different country because we all do things in our own way and it's all unique. And what me and you do are pretty similar. So I'm really curious just to dive straight into what you do, what you're about, and sort of like who you serve.
Okay, no problem. And so I'll just kind of start a little bit from the beginning and move us to where we are right now.
Excellent.
I've always been kind of what I would say is unusual child. I was the kid that would buy candy in the store in the mornings and then bring it to school and sell it. I've never really understood the job system, which is trading time for money. I've always been a person that traded skills for money. And so um, I wasn't able to go to the college I wanted to go to right off the bat. So I went to the military for 20 years. During that time, I was really able to go into a lot of different entrepreneurial ventures because
Mm,
my job gave me a lot of free time. So I really only had to do the main job, which is flying once or twice a month, which means I had the whole rest of the month to really figure out stuff to do. So I was able to delve into real estate, phone sales, door to door sales, a lot of different sales because to me, I've always been verbally gifted. And so I use that to try to make my money, and plus sales is always a way that I can control my finances.
mm.
So going through all those different ventures, as I said, from real estate on up, I finally ended up being able to retire, and I retired out in Europe because I was there. I was the first ever European KCBS barbecue champion out there, and did the tournament out in Italy. And so I lived in Europe for 12 years. I
Amazing.
also was a professional singer out there. So I performed a lot out there in Europe and different countries around there. So all of those business ventures, plus
Mm,
a lot more that I haven't talked about, allowed me to kind of get well rounded in business itself.
yeah.
And what I really kind of figured out was that most businesses have the same processes. They just produce different things. So if you are really good at the processes, you can really monetize anything.
Mm,
And that's really how I kind of got into more coaching because so many of my relatives and other people saw me doing all these different things and they were wondering, how would I do this? And for me, it was, I guess, those things that you say are simple to you, but it's special to someone else. So me coming to try to work with family to now working with other individuals trying to start their own business and even businesses that are currently operational, brick and mortar businesses, and also the pop up online businesses, as I call them. So, what I do myself, Boss Consulting, and Boss stands for Business Optimization and Success Strategy. So, it's not a moniker that I just gave myself, the boss,
It's,
but
it's just a
yeah,
coincidence.
it's a coincidence. Actually, I was in a sales training course because I'm always doing training all throughout the year, marketing, sales, and what we named the little group of people that we got together to practice with, we called it the boss group. And so I just got nicknamed the boss, and I just kept it. And
And
so
it suits.
the
Good
boss,
men.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I just use it to go keep moving around. But most of the folks really know me as the boss. But through the years, I've had multiple nicknames. But what BOSS stands for, as I said, is Business Optimization and Success Strategies. And through BOSS Consulting, what I try to do is move people through basically four phases.
Hmm.
The first phase is basically when a person doesn't have a business or their business is not functioning like they want. What we do at that point is kind of go into three main pieces, which is conceptualize, organize, and monetize. So we make sure your concept is correct, you're targeting the right people, you have a viable concept, you know all of the systems and people that you need to put in place to be operational, and you know different methods to monetize it, whether you're going to do a webinar, whether you're selling a product, whether you're going to open a store. Everybody has their own thing, so each one is individual. So that is, now you've just created your airplane. So at first you didn't have an airplane, now you have a functional airplane. So the next step is to test that airplane. And how we do that is through the next phase is the OTS, organic traffic strategy, where we, before you apply power to the airplane, you want to make sure everything's working. Just like your regular plane that's taxiing, they're checking all the lights and the buttons and making sure the engine's working. So through your organic traffic strategy, you're able to really see if people want what you have and if you could sell it organically before you start spending a whole bunch of money, which most people do. Most people go the opposite. They spend all this money on marketing and trying to find out who they're supposed to work with and how to find a viable product or offer. And by the time they get close, they've run out of money, and there's the end of the business.
See it all the time.
Yeah. So I go the opposite way. We try to make sure to prove your business before you actually start putting real money into it. And actually you actually learn who your exact target is and the message and offer that will work for them. Now you go into the third phase, which is the BOB, the Business Optimization Blueprint, where we work to give you at least one strategy that will work from start to finish to market and to monetize your business. So now that you've found out who you need to talk to, now you can now apply finances to marketing if you want to, because you've now narrowed that down and given those advertising platforms enough information to where instead of spending $100 a day, you can spend $5 a day and get the same return on investment because you've built up your pixel. So going into your BOB, now we put together whatever strategy, whether you want to end it with a webinar, you want to end it with a, some people, I have a artist that you want to end it with having a gallery exhibit, you want to end it with launching your book, or whatever you want to do, whatever your end product is fine. We give you the steps to do that. So now the final, once you've done that, you can repeat that over and over, but we continue to work with you if you would like in the complete system, which is called the Growth Accelerator Program. And that will take you to what we say, the BOB. Now you've went to the taxi and you took off. So now you're up in the air.
Now you're flying.
Now you're flying. But just like, if you continue with the same trajectory and not apply enough power, you're still going to fall.
Yeah.
So in order to get enough power to get to cruise altitude, you have to continue to add a few more different strategies to increase the amount of money that you're making. And that is the Growth Accelerator Program. So basically, whatever your final product of money that you want to make, it could take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and we'll map out a plan to get you there. And that's what once again, most business owners or entrepreneurs don't really want to hear. They don't want to hear that, yes, it's going to take 2 or 3 years to build your business up to 100,000, 200,000 a year, because cruising altitude is in the States between 300 to 500,000 a year. That's the average small business that's continuing to run successfully. And in order to get there, once again, you have to put in all the systems, have multiple avenues where you're bringing income into your business. And that happens in the Growth Accelerator, where we continue to work with you to add more pieces. So that's the whole business.
Why do you think that a lot of businesses now, or a lot of business owners now, don't have the patience for those longer term plans? Because I see it a lot, like you said at the beginning, they want to pump money in at the start and get to the famous 10, 20, 30, 40 grand a month, like within 3 months. And you kind of just go, look, let's slow this down and do it properly. However, there's so many people out there that just don't have the patience for that. They want that quick, that you know, that infamous get rich quick
Right.
solution. Why do you think that is? What's the mentality behind that?
I think the main problem is that they're not trying to build a business. They're trying to make money.
Spot
That's
on.
100% it.
Yeah.
They're not trying to build a business. They're trying to make money. And when your focus is on the money, you're not worried about the process that it takes to actually build a business, because there is a process that you go through.
Yeah.
They're just wanting the profits. So if you just want the profits, that's why you see, and I do research on this. I look and find the 2 Comma Club winners from Russell Brunson. And what I like to do, what I would love someone to do is, where are they now?
Yeah.
Because you might have done great that first year.
Yeah.
But what happened since then? Because you just built a business.
The Secret Millionaire show.
Yeah.
Follow up, you know?
Yeah, they only just sold something. They didn't build a business. So in order to keep that profit coming in, you have to sell something else.
Yeah. And how many people do you think struggle with that, doing it, you know, doing it the first time, getting that success, selling that product, and then when that runway inevitably runs out, how adaptable do you think a lot of them are in the sense of doing it all over?
Well, and that really comes, Stephen, with the person themselves. And you can actually tell. As I said, I've talked to hundreds and hundreds of people. Why you're starting out doing it will really determine where you finish.
Yeah.
And then that's 100%. So if a person has a perfect why, not a perfect, but a good reason why they're doing something, it's going to give them longevity. If the only reason why is because I want to make money, it's going to be hard to sustain them.
Yeah.
If a person doesn't have a real need, it's going to be hard to sustain through the trials.
But the thing is with that as well, though, if they've got that need for, or that desire to make money rather than build a business, and they succeed in making money, then that just becomes crazy addictive, right?
Yes.
And that's the danger. It's where they start chasing those levels and they start chasing those wins. And sadly, the majority of them end up either burning out or just getting so frustrated that they're not winning in those sort of senses. Do you see that a lot as well?
Exactly. And that's basically that gambling mentality where a person will go to Las Vegas and play the slots, all of a sudden win, and they're up, but they keep playing because that's how they think they're going to make money, is by continuing to play.
Rather than walking away.
Rather than walking away and actually investing their money. This is another thing that folks don't realize, that when you make money, you should invest your money so the money keeps working instead of you. What most folks do is they make money here, and because they haven't created something that lasts, they have to continue to make money and make money and make money and make money. What should happen is you make money here, you invest money, so your money now starts working for you.
Yeah.
Make money, invest money. So that's the cycle that should happen actually to grow a profitable business, that your business continues to make money and you now take that money and invest it to continue growing. So now your money is working and you can step back farther. But most folks, once again, and the internet has really, really been caused most of this. And that's the truth.
Yeah.
When you look back in the old days, I say old days, but when I was growing up, in order to scam a person, you actually had to have money, because you had to go door to door, you had to put on events, you had to do infomercials, you had to put ads in the paper. That's the only way you could scam a person back then. But now, because everybody has access to the internet, anyone can scam you with just a click of a button. Anyone can become a guru by the click of a button. And so because people now see all those people making millions in 1, 2, 3, 4 months, they think that is the normal. And that's why gurus exist, because people don't want to go through the process to actually build something. They just want the profits.
How do we fix that then? How do we fix that sort of relationship between the online world and let's say a newbie coming into the online business world? How do you fix the fact that, there are gurus that are legit, and that are making it and that have, you know, made cash and invested it the right way. And then there are those people which you see online that I'm sure we're probably connected to a few of them ourselves that are less than legit.
Well, you know, man, mice traps only exist because there's mice. So until the mentality of the people change, which it won't, people always have been greedy. It's just the method of exerting and influencing and showing their greed, which has changed. See, before, when you were greedy, if you didn't have the internet, you would rob somebody, or you would, take something from your parents or some relative, or try to steal their inheritance or something tangible. Now that feeling is still there with people, but now they can do it digitally, and they can explore hundreds of thousands of ways to actually feed that habit. So now when you make $500, you're looking for some guru that can teach you how to make $1 million for $500.
Doesn't work like that.
And that's what happens.
Like that.
You can't change that mentality. So what has to happen is that the people that you choose to work with, you have to evaluate them or work with them based on you. Like I told my folks, I don't call myself a guru. I'm a you do. I tell you what to do, and you have to do it.
Yeah.
And bottom line, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to cheat you, or I'm going to tell you the truth. And when you suck or whatever you have sucks, I'm going to tell you. Exactly. Because I'm not trying to get you to the next thing. I'm trying to get you right with the first thing.
Well, this is the other thing, right? That when people come to people like us, so like business coaches, success coaches, whatever we want to call ourselves, is that there's sometimes this assumption that we do all the work for them. And it's not, because for what I always explain to my clients is that, look, every single person is bespoke. There's so many blueprints out there that you can go and buy for like $47, $97, $997, and all that kind of stuff. But you're going to spend most of your time trying to be like, okay, how does this fit into my business? And 9 out of 10 times, it doesn't. Like you said, it works for those 1 or 2 people, but it doesn't work for that person. So it has to be bespoke. We have to spend that time to really understand what their business is, what their struggles are, what their desires, goals, vision, all that kind of stuff is. And then we can start building a strategy, right?
Right. And what happens here is, I spoke about this a while back. People follow, they say, success leaves clues. So what everybody's trying to follow are the clues. But what they forget, the second part, failure leaves scars.
Ooh, like it.
And what happens is, actually you get more from the failures than you do the successes. Because let's just say you only succeed. What happens when your business fails? You don't know what to do. The light bulb was created from thousands of failures, not just a success. Most businesses, everything that you do, everything from walking to learning how to talk, happens through failure.
Otherwise, then there's the success. We'll be on our bellies trying to walk around like snakes.
So what the courses are trying to do is to give you the successes, but they don't allow for the failure. And you learn more through the failures than you actually do the successes. So my simple thing, like a person will say, well, how do you teach a person to be confident? How do you teach a person to be successful? Well, they have to do things. You have to do in order for stuff to happen. So if I say, like for myself, if I want to learn about creating a Facebook chat bot, I could do 2 things. I can say, hey, does somebody have a Facebook chat course that I can take? Or I can go research it myself, get smart as I can on it, then engage people for whatever help and pieces that I'm missing, because now I can speak intelligently on the subject. If somebody guru tells me, oh, you can do this, 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 and I go, well, no, that's not true. This is what most folks don't want to do. They don't want to put in the work to build themselves. They want everything to come from the guru or the person they consider a guru, and not understanding that there's things you have to do and that you have to mess up that you won't understand until you mess up and then fix it.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point of the process. If you want to create a great webinar, then you have to mess up a lot. You're going to mess up. You're not going to have a perfect webinar right off the bat. Even if you copy somebody else's template,
Yeah.
you're still going to have to tweak it, fix it, adjust it how you have to do it. But you have to do it. You can't just go back to the person and go, hey, can you make me the best webinar? No. My webinar is the best webinar for me. Your webinar has to be the best webinar for you.
Yeah, exactly. So for you now, what's your plan? Like, how are you going to carry on doing what you're doing this year? What plans have you got? Because I'm sure you've got some big goals.
Definitely. Every year, at the end of the year, I do goal setting and planning, because you have to have plans and stuff in order to hit something. You have to have a target. And so going into the middle of this year, by July, I should have at least one book published by then, because I want to actually move into more speaking. Because the thing, as a coach, you work with so many people, and so many folks say disappoint you because you give them everything, but they don't do it. And that hurts.
Yeah.
So what I want to be able to do is get my message out, but not have the pain associated with it. And the way I can do that is actually speaking. So I can speak about growth strategies. I could speak about how to succeed in business. And then those people hopefully take some of that. But if they don't, I still feel that I've done my part.
You're not as emotionally attached.
Yes. And I still feel that I've done my part, because everyone has a message. Everyone has something that they have gone through that they could share. And what I've been doing is taking that and personally, individually trying to share it, which you win some, you lose a lot. But speaking, I can do the same thing and feel so much better by putting it out to more people. So from the middle of the year going on, that's when I'm going to really be focusing on speaking. I'm still going to be coaching, still going to be working with individuals, but I'll be definitely trying to get on the road and go out and speak. My primary target actually is low-income rural areas where I can go speak to those tweeners, those teenagers just about to graduate, till young 24 and under people, because that's the more pliable area that I can really work with. You could talk to adults all the time, of course, but adults really they're really solidified in their beliefs.
Got a lot of baggage.
Yeah. And so that's why when a person goes to somewhere like a Tony Robbins event, they go 5, 6, 7 times. It's like, well, damn, didn't you get it the first time?
That's so true.
But it's not, because motivation comes from someone else. See, if I motivate you, I have to be there to motivate you. But inspiration should come from inside of you. What I want to do is get people to the point where they are inspiring themselves. They have the actual determination to do and make a change. And that's the to me, the secret of success is that you find your why that will inspire you and drive you. As I grew up, my why changed. When I was first, in my hometown, my why was to get out of my town. So everything I did was to get out of my town. When I got married, had a couple of kids in the military, my why was to take care of my family. Now that my kids are older and I'm out of the military, I'm doing these different things. My why is to help people to find their why. And so that has to be your drive. And see, if you operate and do the things that you're supposed to do, money is a byproduct of that.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's what folks don't want to do.
Out of curiosity, what current speakers in the circuit are motivating you?
I like Eric Thomas. I mean, E.T., because he speaks like me. If anybody actually gets on a phone call with me and we get to talking, you see, I get irritated and I get excited, because I've compiled so much information in here. It's like it's one of my superpowers, I call it. There's so much stuff that I've learned, but it takes a question or something to draw it out. So when I'm speaking and teaching, I'll actually have to record it, because sometimes I quote myself. I'll say some stuff and be like, damn, that was pretty good.
I'm good.
But that's what happens, and knowing your superpower. So everybody has some. I have a few. Another one I have is that I actually see when people are talking. So if you're explaining to me how your house is going to be built, there's going to be a pool in the backyard, I see that.
Yeah.
So when I tell you, well, you might want to move the pool over a little bit, you'll be like, well, why? Well, if you come out the house right here, I could tell you because I see it. Same thing when a person tells me about their business, I could see it. So I'll tell you, well, have you thought about this? Have you thought about this? Well, this is going to probably happen. And the people are kind of amazed, but I see it. And what happens is when I see it, it also connects with all the other instances of it that I've already seen.
Mm-hmm.
So I could tell you, it's just like an old wise person. They're not wise because they're just magically getting this. It's because they've experienced things. So because I've experienced so many different niches of business, so many different marketing techniques, so many different sales techniques, so many different products and services, when person speaks to me about something, I've already heard it. So now I just got to listen to what you say, and I could tell you right off the bat, no, that's not going to work.
Yeah, makes sense. For you, one of my final questions to you, John, is the one I prepped you for. But if you could give, 3 tips to that, let's focus on that demographic. That 18 to 25-year-old sort of, they kind of have that vision, that hope for their life, but they don't know the roadmap to get there. What 3 tips would you give those sort of people to succeed in life?
Number 1, hold on to your passion until it becomes profitable. Do not let go of it. Don't let nobody talk you out of it. Not your mom, your dad, the counselor, none of those folks, because only you can do what you can do. Whatever you love and have a passion to do now, when you get 30, 40, 50 years old, if you've left that, you're going to regret it. Hold on to it and keep it until it becomes profitable. And if you can, monetize it as soon as possible. Number 2, find someone who's already doing what you're doing. Don't find the millionaire, billionaire person first. Find the person who's the next step of where you want to go. Find mentors to take you to the pieces that you need and the steps that you need. Don't get a $1 billion mentor when you're making $50. You need a $100 mentor. And then a 200, then 1,000, and the pieces that you need. So if you need to learn marketing, find a mentor that's awesome in marketing. Get the pieces that you need to advance yourself. And third, the 100% most crucial thing is follow the steps of those who've walked before you. So if your mentor says do A, B, and C, in order to get D, you can't just say, I'm going to do A and B and expect to get D. It does not work that way. You have to follow the process, follow the footsteps of the guidance of the people who you're listening to. Do exactly what they say. There's 3 steps in that: duplication, emulation, then origination. Don't try to be original first. Duplicate somebody else. Follow what somebody else is doing, then change it a little bit, emulate. You figure out how you like it, and then you can see the original pieces that you can bring to the table. That's the 3 main things I would always say to anyone.
Smashed it, John. Listen, John, thank you so much for that. If anyone wants to get in touch with you, speak to you, find out more about what you're doing and maybe even see you speak on stage, what's the best way for them to do that?
Okay, I got 2 websites. One is my actual name. It's www.jonathan, JOHNATHAN, Clement.com. So that's one word, www.jonathanclement.com. And also, if you want to get some information about my growth strategies, that's www.easygrowthstrategies.com. Very simple to remember, just like it's spelled, easygrowthstrategies.com. I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram. Just find Jonathan Clement, or on Instagram is Jonathan_the boss. So Facebook, John Clement, you'll find me, and I have several ways you can get a hold of me, but that's the primary.
Love it. John, thank you so much for coming on. I've thoroughly enjoyed our conversation, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you smash those speaking stages later this year, and hopefully, no doubt you'll do it, share that stage with ET.
Oh, definitely. That would be a dream. And I really look forward to jumping on with you again,
For sure.
just to get some updates and see how things are moving. It's always best to see where you've been and then come back and tell your people where you are now. So it's really cool.
Exactly. Completely agree. John, thank you so much for coming on Founders 365. You've been guest number 67.
67. Ooh, I
There
almost
we go.
made 69, huh?
I'll get you a t-shirt with it on.
All
It's
right.
great. Thank you. Thanks everyone for watching and listening. This has been Founders 365 with me, Steven Haggerty.
There you go.